Friends, evening. Good evening all. Welcome to the stream. Do a bit more painting tonight. Haha, chum dabs. What a real red hot shame that you're on the stream. How unfortunate. Stand by. The main camera's lost its shit. Stand by. Oh, my camera's gone stupid. Stand by. Alright, we should be back. We're back. Hello, friends. Yes, thanks, Chum Dubs. Thank you for stating the bleedingly fucking obvious, mate. Well done. Oh, g'day, Quee Q. Good morning. It is actually evening for me. Just gonna grab a drink. Happy Friday indeed. We're painting a dragon tonight. Pineapple vodkas. Pineapple cruisers. What a joker. Ah, thanks QE. No, it's no beer tonight, Chum Dabs. Had a few beers last night when I was watching the cricket, so giving it a miss tonight. Tonight we're having a kombucha. Yeah, it's very funny, mate. They had a loss. They lost. They're out. You are a joker. What a joker. So tonight the goal is to try and figure out what is happening with this dragon friend. Because I'm sort of a bit lost on where he's going, so I want to have a bit of a play around with his colours. See if we can figure out what he wants to look like. Mate, the main focus for me at the moment, I want to try and get a little bit better at freehand. So I've been trying to do a little bit more freehand on stuff. So I did some freehand on the rider, on Windrider. Show that off in a second. Here's the dude who rides the dragon. He's looking alright. Wanted to paint yellow. Haven't done yellow for a while. And that was about the extent of it. Not really like sort of actively trying to learn anything at the moment, like sitting down and starting a task and going, this is what I want to achieve. Because I'm finding that I just want to enjoy the painting, and so I find that if I just, as I'm progressing through, thanks Patrick, as I'm progressing through the paint, things will just jump out. It's like, oh yeah, that's right, I wanted to try that, or I wanted to practice that, you know, those sorts of moments. So that's about as far as I'm going with things right now. Oh, loopies, loopholes. Oi, oi. Aussie, Aussie. Man, I wish I did. Probably be good then. So the camera's all rigged up. All the things are locked in place. Everything's perfect for my stream setup now. Don't need to change anything. Feel good. You know what I can do though? I can zoom in my face camera though. So let's do this. Let's have a little bit of zoomy on the face camera. How good is this? Ready? Ooh. That's too zoomed. That's too zoomed in, eh? Pull back. Pull back, son. There we go. That'll do. 200% enhance! Enhance. What are you trying to say, loophole? What are you trying to say, mate? Might zoom out on Dragon a bit because this is going to be some airbrushy goodness. Alright, so the first thing that is obvious to me about this guy is we have way too much high value. So we need to darken everything up. So we're going to choose some dark colours. And we're going to try and maybe push towards some greens a little bit. Just to tie it in with the rider, who's got some green colours. G'day, Bug King. Thanks for following, my friend. Amazing of you. And we might also try and put some browns in there because brown is a good colour to darken this. Here's a good one. I might actually use Hull Red. Hull Red. Yeah, quite a good colour. Me too, Bug King, me too. But as Thomas Wayne said to his son Bruce, why do we fall down, Bruce? So we can learn to pick ourselves up again. Without failure, we would never achieve success. I've already said this one before, but Winston Churchill said success is walking from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Great sentiment. You want me to give you some tips on how to make red more orgasmic? Nothing wrong with a wee tipple of a morning, my friend. I am utterly thrilled it's Friday today, I must say. It has been a shitstorm of a week. Don't want to go too red, but maybe we will try a bit of Gore Grunter Fur contrast paint. You've never used red, mate. You've never painted a red colour in your life. Why do I feel like that is a erroneous statement? I reckon if I trawled through your pictures, I would find red on something. Somewhere. Oh, thanks, Patrick. You're a champion. Subscribing. Feeling like my airbrush needs a clean. Maybe we will be cleaning some airbrush on the stream. How boring will that be? But no doubt educational at the same time. Haha, thanks mate. Yep, I think we're cleaning the airbrush right now, friends. Alright, well this will be fun. So, I don't have to clean my airbrush very frequently because of the fact that I use mostly dilute layers of paint. But on occasion, I do need to disassemble and clean, much like everyone does with their airbrush. And it's usually because there is dried paint in the bits and pieces. Oh, loophole, let's not be ridiculous. So there's some dried paint, particularly on the tip there, that we need to get out of that bad boy. And there is a few other components. So when cleaning the airbrush, the inside of the airbrush, I would like to get an ultrasonic cleaner. It's really difficult to find in Australia. I guess I haven't really looked that hard actually, so maybe they're not that difficult. But there is a few bits and pieces that Iwata provide with your airbrush purchase that makes things easier. J-Car, is it? Oh, maybe I'll check that out, buddy. That could be a good tip there. So I need this little doobie. Ah, excellent. 29 bucks at Aldi. Wow. I'm gonna show you my tricks. I've got a couple. So the first one is these little bad boys. Cotton tips. And the second one is these little bad boys. So these things are called dentist's brushes or some shit. They're Pixters, I think they are. Yeah, Pixters, there you go. So they're dentist brushes. So you can actually buy them from most chemists, etc. Hello, where's my... So the next component that we need is a little bit of the old. This this label says H2O. It is most definitely not H2O. It is empty. That's methylated spirits, friends. Methylated spirits. So let's get some metho. Mate, every day of my job is health and safety. Methylated spirits, that's toy shit for me. That's baby stuff. Alright, and then we're going to do this. And this. I'm going to do a bit of these ones. Yes, there's no MSDS here, mate. None needed. It's just fucking metho, mate. I'm not going to sit here breathing that shit in. Wow, look at the quality of the camera. How good's that? See every bristle on the brush. Fantastic. This wasn't my plan for tonight's stream, friends, but needs must. So yeah, the advantage of my use of the airbrush is I don't have to do this very often. I would say the last time I did this was about 2 months ago. I just give it a pretty thorough flushing with water and cleaner after every little use, which takes about 10 seconds. And then we're back into it. So yeah, I have the Eclipse too. Here is my Eclipse. Whee! So this nozzle is, it's actually not as much smaller as you'd think. It is definitely smaller though. So, and this is the brush I use for detail. So that's pretty. Hello, Pixter. Hello. Boot, 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 boot. Outstanding. So this little doobie whacker in here is the most important bit, and I'll give you the hot tip. You definitely don't want to lose this little fucking thing. But fortunately, Iwata does actually sell replacements, so you can get replacement ones of these if you need. So the worst place for paint to get caught is actually in this little nozzle here, and it's really hard to clean. You can buy a little specific cleaner from Iwata that is a little scrapey thing that goes in here. I don't have that. I actually just use the needle. But it's very important that you don't push too far, because you'll stretch the needle hole, which is not what you want. Could be making a lot of inappropriate sex puns here, but I think I'm doing a good job just avoiding those. So, bully for me. We will use a little synthetic brush. Get that gear out of there. So this is often the spot where you get your problems. This little doobie whacker. You can clean everything else, and if you don't get this bit cleaned, you'll continue to have problems. So ultrasonic cleaner is probably the go for this little thing, but as I said, I haven't got around to buying one. So just go in there. Yeah, doobie whacker, whatchamacallits, thingamy bobs. You know what they're called. It may be. I don't think it is because the needle's pretty stiff. As long as you're not pushing the tip around and bending the tip, you're fine. So yeah, I think it's mostly fine. This is how I've been doing it for about 2 years, and my airbrush is still working fine. So haven't had too many problems. Might be replacing our beautiful black cardboard tonight. Yeah. Because you can have a look at the tip of the needle. It's pretty firm. I think I've had this one for about probably be five years maybe. It's been a while anyway. All right, and now the bit that you dread. You definitely have to be careful with this because this is the other area that you can easily fuck up. I'm going to put this little doobie back in the thingamajigs. So the two things you can do here that can fuck it, the first is you can over tighten it. The second is you can not put it tight enough. So you basically, I just take it to where it cinches and then just give it a little nudge, and that's about it. That's about all it needs usually. Outstanding, so that's cool. Now the next this thingy goes in here. This is just riveting viewing, isn't it, friends? This little thingy. Yeah, fair play. There you go. Alright, so I believe the really good people don't feed the needle in from behind. I believe they feed it from the front and then put the thing over the top. I don't do that. I mean, the thing about airbrushes, right? They're expensive, but it's not like you can't replace them if you have to. So yeah, I've got needle lube there. I don't use it often because I forget, such as this particular case in point right here. Then we'll get this bad boy back on, and then we'll flush it with some water. Oh, it sounds crisp. Sounds crisp. Oh, love a fresh airbrush. Exciting times coming up. Oh, feel the power of that. That's great stuff. So we'll just give it a little bit of airbrush cleaner. And again, this is the method I follow after I use a colour. So I'll just get this old shitty synthetic brush and just twist that around in there. Give it a little clean at the end there. Twist that shit out. Bit of these ones. Honestly, I think you'd have to push pretty hard, but to stretch that, it is steel or whatever the fuck they make it out of. But you will know that you've pushed too hard, because you'll start to get paint spattering, because what's happened is the hole around the outside is bigger than the needle. And so instead of, and when I say paint spattering, I mean when there's no paint pulled back, when the trigger's not pulled back, because the hole where the paint comes out is now wider than the needle. And as I said, I was cleaning my airbrush, like, fuck mate, because I fucked up. Alright, we're back painting now, chump. I've had just about enough of your shit, man. You've been in the stream for 6 seconds. Brand new, like I bought one. Oh, just trying to take a photo with my camera. That's cool. Okay, excellent. Alright, let's see if that's made it better. I feel like it already has, because I can tell from the power of the air coming out. Oh, look at this. Alright, now I need to turn my air down. Chum Dabs, you're trying to get me banned, mate. I don't think I'll be giving you any more tips, mate. As I just said before, Flick, there's actually not that much maintenance in cleaning if you're sort of using relatively dilute coats. You don't have to do too much to keep it working well. It's only when you start doing really thick stuff, and actually you'll see me change. I use this wider nozzle for when I'm doing thicker paint, or undercoating and stuff, just because it's a little bit more tolerance, whereas the really small ones is what I use for fine detail. Yeah. Honestly, airbrush maintenance could be like a fucking perfect stream. You could just be like, okay guys, let's have your airbrushes and we'll diagnose your problems on stream and fix it. That'd be fun to watch. Probably not that fun, actually. So, I think this section here is what I'm annoyed about. I don't really know what I'm doing with it. Maybe I should make this bit skin colored or something. G'day Flickstar. I was on your stream this morning, mate. I had to duck my head in, said hello for a bit. I was on my way to work, so I didn't get to watch much. But yeah, not a lot of movement since the last time I looked on your model. Basically exactly the same, really. So bully for you. I feel like before you can actually consider yourself good at an airbrush, you've got to be able to clean and diagnose problems, because that's generally where people. It's always so funny when people are like, yeah, I'm gonna get an airbrush. It's gonna make me so much quicker as a painter and shit, and then they actually spend all their time cleaning it and they hate it and they don't think it's helping them. I mean, it's just like everything, right? You just need to practice with it. You just need to practice, and if you don't practice, of course, you're not going to be able to diagnose the problems and clean it and do all the shit you need to do. Flexstar. Hey Flixter, I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, which is about 14 hours from now, so might be a little bit more appropriately timed for my friends in Europe and America to watch some stream, because it's my Saturday morning. That's good advice, Chum Dabs. Cool, Topulus. Oh, oh, I didn't know that, Flick. Didn't know that, mate. But I'll get up and pester you for a bit. Before I come on. Watch a little bit of the maestro at work. Ah, good, Patrick. Yeah, no, this is my regular stream time, 7 to 10 of an evening for me. You'll probably catch me 3 or 4 nights a week doing this, assuming the actual streaming component doesn't distract from my work. And there is actually one, the Bug King, unlucky, mate. There is a possibility soon that I'm going to have a box art that I'll need to work on, so I won't be able to do that on stream. I might be able to, actually. I might be able to. It'll depend on what the guy wants. You may want it on stream. Oh, 10:40 in the morning, perfect. So there's two counterpoints to that, Jum Dabs. The first is, I'm sure we would all agree that this looks absolutely shithouse at this point in time. And if one person only had a few minutes of exposure to a sculpt that was in a work in progress stage and formed an opinion that was, this sucks, and I don't want to buy this, it's very hard to change that opinion. So, I can understand why they might not want it. And the second component is it's for a Kickstarter, so they'll want to have finished photos before Kickstarter goes live, and they'll probably not want that images to come out before the Kickstarter, so probably turn my stream off for a bit while that happens. Yes, mate, it is on the painter, but the painter's the one that buys the model. So if a painter has a perspective of, I don't like that model because of the unfinished picture, then it's the fucking person who's let it go on stream first. It's fault, as opposed to their fault. Tui, I will try. I suppose I could continue painting some other stuff on stream. We'll see. Hasn't even been confirmed yet. Could be jumping the gun quite significantly. So what we're doing with the airbrush at the moment, it looks like I'm doing a lot of back and forth because I am. It's just about creating lots of layers of texture and colour. That looks interesting. And again, I'm just sort of trying to figure out how I'm going to do this at the moment because I'm really not sure. I consider them pretty similar, Topulus. Pretty similar. A box art is a commission, but as I've said before, I don't do regular commissions unless I really genuinely love the model and want to paint it. So from that perspective, they're very similar, but box arts it's a fun opportunity to get recognised as a painter. You know, when you get asked for box arts, it usually makes you feel like, oh yeah, I'm obviously making some headway in some of the goals I've got as a painter if people think I'm good enough to do box art. But I've actually found the last two box arts I did, I really struggled with them. They came at a pretty low ebb in my painting cycle. And I really struggled with getting them to look how I envisaged them in my mind when I envisaged them in my mind. Yeah, that's a good call, Tui. And I'm going to try and keep it pretty muted across the whole dragon. It's going to be Falcor's colours, so he'll be these whites. I did the twins from Ouroboros Miniatures, and I did one of the little goblins from the Green Skull Castle. I'm not lacking in confidence, pal. You don't need to worry about that. How can you damage my ego? It would take a pretty solid amount of effort. Big Dano has got tickets on himself. Not for my painting though. Not for my painting. Generally, I'm pretty humble when it comes to my painting because I know I'm not where I want to be as good as many other painters. So I try to stay hungry, work hard, keep practicing. Yeah, there's always room for improvement. Yeah, and when you go to an event like Monte Sansovino, that is blatantly obvious how much further you've got to go. Okay, I think I like this so far. May just add just a tiny couple of glazes, some other colours. That needs to dry first though. You can ask them. They're lovely people. If you'd like, you could ask me, because I'm one of them. Or Tui, who is also one of them, significantly better than me. Everyone that I spoke to at that event, everyone that I've met through painting, they all are on a journey to be better, all have a lot of critical perspectives on their works, usually more critical than most. But yeah, I think it takes a certain type of mindset to become an elite miniature painter, and maybe I'm out of my depth here, but I feel like you've got to have really just a constant, continuous improvement mindset. You know, that the moment you stop learning, the moment you start going backwards, or more accurate to say that the rest of the people in the world continue to improve. Yeah, continuous improvement, I think, is the one thing that those guys really that I observe. They just keep working hard, keep trying to be better, keep trying new things. Alright, cool. That's a great lesson for life in general. Just because you want to be better and want to strive for more, doesn't mean you can't be satisfied and happy with what you have and what you have achieved. I talked about it a fair bit in the last stream I did, where I was just like, you've got to be able to embrace mistakes. You've got to be able to just continually challenge yourself, because everyone has, I think, the ability to learn how to paint and learn how to do stuff, but not everyone's willing to dedicate themselves to the time, to the energy, to continue to strive to be better and better. Probably not the right word for it. Self-awareness is probably the right word for it. Actually, they're very different. Self-conscious people are always worried what other people think about them. Self-aware people are aware of themselves and their impact on others. It's almost the complete opposite of each other. Yeah, great mindset, Bug King. I went to Monty in 2018, sorry, and achieved no results, entered in several models and didn't get anything. And when I went back, I succeeded in getting a medal, and that was very satisfying because I improved over myself. The actual medal, the result, didn't really matter. I wasn't competing against other people. And I think Monty and other European events, they sort of lend themselves to that mindset, because there's no limit on the number of medals you receive, whereas the American style of competition with the first, second, third does tend to drive more of a competition with other people. So from that perspective, I really like the way the Europeans approach competitions, and it genuinely feels like you're with one big family, people trying to help each other be better. One to it. I think we talked about it already, mate. But yeah, I think it's a great idea. Really good idea. Ooh. Which isn't to say that, competing against others isn't still something that drives human beings. I mean, I think that's a natural instinct in us to want to be better. I think it's almost genetically engineered in us to try and be the best so we can attract a mate and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, from a perspective of we don't have to compete against each other to continue to get better. Alright, I'm not using that brush. Yeah. Now, I guess that's pretty similar, Bug King, to the way the Europeans do it, having the split is, I guess, just the gold, silver, bronze medals at Monty is effectively the same cut. But yeah, it's something about it just feels a little bit more rewarding. Yeah, it does have best in show, and they have best in different categories, best in fantasy, best in sci-fi, quite a few different categories. So Jan, hey mate, welcome buddy. This project is really taking some time, friends, and I hope that it's not too boring watching me paint the same model over and over. But I really like this model, and it's pretty massive, so it's taking as long as it takes. I'm enjoying painting it, so. Hopefully you can all enjoy it as well. Yes, I am, probably. But that doesn't mean that I am anywhere near as good as those guys. Zoom in a smidge. Ah, thank you, mate. Yeah, the airbrush is a fantastic tool for a variety of things. I can use it for softening transitions. I can use it for adding texture. I can use it for adding color nuances. It's just a really cool tool to have in the arsenal. Oh, please, Q, you are very welcome to do so, mate. We love doing that in the chat. Post some of your Instagram links or pictures of your works. We'll bring it up on the screen and have a bit of a chat about how we can help you improve. Would be awesome, mate. Angel Geraldez. Yeah, I think he's probably more practiced at his technique than I am at mine, so I think you would probably find that he could paint something to a higher standard than I could in a similar time frame. Alright, we'll pause on Dragon Boy for a minute and have a look at Q's work. Alright, here we go. Let's have it. No, I don't. Oh, my computer just installed a new Microsoft Edge and it keeps asking me, no, I don't want to fucking change my thing. Ah, Q, I've looked at your dude before. Cool, man. I've seen this one before. I have. Putty and paint, I believe. Alright, friends, here we go. So, what sort of feedback are you looking for, my friend? What would you like me to focus on? real bad at this. Okay, so I have a few observations. Most of them are good. So, g'day Moyako, hello mate. I really like the helmet. I'm not sure if it's meant to represent, what the feeling I get from it is that he's standing over like on a pier on a lake, and so there's some reflections from the water beneath him. So I don't know if that's what it's meant to represent, or if it's just meant to represent some sort of magical metal type substance. But I really like the metal. I like how you've reflected the colours of the other elements of the environment into the metal, particularly on that little brooch thing on his chest. I love how the face is the real focal point. Like it's clearly the area that people should be looking at. It's higher value than everything else. The patterns on the back are super legit. Yeah, so I mean, I think probably the only areas of critique I would provide would be that there's just a lot of different things happening. It feels very busy. And you've got the patterns on the back. You've got the patterns in the helmet. You've got some interesting sort of texturing in his skin, and everything just feels a little bit busy. So I'd maybe look to do just maybe one or two areas that are a little bit more smooth. So you have a contrast between that really interesting textured areas and the smooth areas. But that's something you need to balance, right? Because I think the amount of visual interest on that's really cool. So yeah, look, the green down the bottom doesn't really do much for me. I don't think it fits in with the rest of the feeling of the piece, but that's pretty critical. It's awesome. I love it. And good colour combo too, that tealy emerald colour and the orange beard. Classic combo, can't go wrong. So, but you can tell there's a lot of time invested in this. This is a lot of hours of effort. Just look at that. There's so much time and effort put into that. So great work, man or woman, whichever you are. I think it's awesome. Tui, if you're still around, you got anything you want to add to that? G'day, Emeriku. It's great stuff, mate. Should be very proud. A lot of effort. One thing you don't hear a lot of painters talk about, I guess, when you talk about feedback, is the style. I think it's really important to recognise that everyone has a unique style and a way of approaching things, and that's something that we should encourage, as opposed to everything being the same. Good call, Tui. Yep. Yeah, so style's just like, we don't talk about it a lot, but there's a lot of really incredible artists out in the world at the moment. Mark Masculins and the Big Child guys and Kirill and Tui and a lot of really skilled artists practicing their craft and their trade, and they all have pretty unique styles. Like, you can recognize land, you can recognize masculines, you can recognize Kirill, and that's something that we probably need to encourage more of. I mean, Kaha is another one who's just super recognizable, and I'm guessing you've taken some inspiration from her works. You don't develop that style and that vision without just sometimes not listening to the way other people tell you to do things. And the feedback that I give is very structured around how I do things, and that's not necessarily going to be something that sits in the style of painting that you're doing or that you want to do. So just something to consider. I don't think there's any harm in having that knowledge and having that feedback and deciding how you want to use that feedback. But yeah, you've got a really unique style there, and that's something you should continue to evolve. Yep. Yeah, she's fantastic. She does uniquely recognizable works. So I don't know if people are interested to know too much about some of the basic stuff that I do, but I might as well share a little bit of the basic theory and basic paint applications. One of the things that I use a lot, you probably see a lot of painters use a glaze, and there's a few important things to keep in mind with the glaze, but really the number one thing to keep in mind is the direction of the brush stroke. So if you take a dilute colour such as this yellow and you are doing a glaze, and I'll do it here so you can see, the direction of the brush stroke is the most important element, because where you remove the brush, more pigment collects in that spot. So if you look at here to here, this area is more heavily pigmented. So the direction of the stroke for a glaze is extremely important. So using it in practice here, what I'm doing is taking a dilute colour and I'm dragging it from an area where I want to create a transition, and then I'm dragging it up into the colour. So what you're seeing then is this area becoming softer and more smooth, but that heavily pigmented area, as demonstrated over here, is in the central part of the colour that's already the same colour. So that's the direction of the brush stroke is extremely important when you're doing a glaze for it to work properly. Otherwise you get tide marks and you'll see the transitions much too easily. No, I don't think Kaha streams. She's a legend, by the way. She came and stayed with me when she came to Australia and taught some classes. Took her around Brisbane. Give you 3 guesses where I took her. Chum dabs. Some of the real highlights. But yeah, she's great. Yeah, Mount Cootha number 1. Guess number 2. No, I didn't go to Lone Pine. They went to Lone Pine by themselves. I was working that day. A bit of South Bank, bit of cheeky South Bank on a city cap, mate. Can't go wrong. So another basic rule of thumb with glazes, but probably more broadly speaking, any level of painting. The most important thing, you can use any level of dilution on your brush. There can be basically nothing but pigment, and there can be nothing but paint, or there can be basically almost just water with the tiniest little pigments in there. The way that you control that is by removing the paint on your nearby towel, moist towelette, whatever you use. Over time you'll develop a feel for when you've got the right amount of paint on your brush, and you won't need to use it as often, but generally if I've mixed up a little bit of paint, the first thing I'll do is just wipe some of it off so that I don't have too much and it doesn't flood the area. It's more important when you're doing your glaze. Yes, Patreon. Found it quite interesting that Alfonso and his friends left Patreon to start effectively a Patreon on a private website. Hope it's successful. Yeah, very true, Bug. But I think we're starting to see a lot more painters work on working texture into their models, and if you go back into the late 90s, early 2000s, you know, the painters like Bobby Wong, Glenn Lamprecht, they were all about just the ultra smooth, you know, Darren Latham. What was that dude who did the elves? Can't think of his name now. But yeah, they were all about ultra smooth. G'day Kev the Jinx. Kev is a sicko. And then just the last few years we've started to see more people doing texturing, and you know, like having some really interesting depths of colours and shadows. And I think it's, if you go and look at classical art, classical paintings that you see in galleries, you know, texture's part and parcel of those works. And I think maybe we lost our way a little bit, or I guess miniature painting's gone through an evolution similar to fine arts and other things. It's an interesting topic anyway. I love texture on models. I think it adds a really interesting visual element that helps, particularly on larger models. Celery! Thanks, mate. On larger models, as you said, it's particularly important. Oh, Dr. Flink's here as well. Hello, friend. Chat's having a great time tonight. So many great people in there. And chum dabs. Yes, indeed, Kev. And it is one of the levers of contrast too, actually. I've talked a little bit about contrast in a few of my streams, but when most people say contrast, they're generally referring to value contrast between light and dark. But you can also have contrast between a number of things. The term contrast in the dictionary is defined as the juxtaposition of strikingly different elements. Bug King, please post the link in the chat, mate. We'll load it up and have a look. And so strikingly different elements can be things like textured versus smooth. They can be things like warm versus cold, saturated versus desaturated, round versus square, big versus small. Big versus small is a hard one to paint with, to paint. But you see a lot of sculptors working with different scales to keep things interesting. G'day, Chroma. Whoa, this guy's fallen over. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Matt and Glossy. So yeah, there's lots of levers of contrast you can use, and I think we get caught up sometimes in the value discussion that we forget about, you know, the temperature and the saturation and other things. Oh, I've seen this, Bug King. Awesome. I'm in the Discord for Kingdom Death, and also a member of the By Lanterns Light Facebook group. So I have in fact seen this. Boom! And here it is. Good work, Bug King. So it's really hard to do a model on a full background, and there's two things you've done that I absolutely love: the angles. So you see a lot of people when they want to do a wall, they do a straight wall at the back of the piece, and what you find with that is that the piece looks very staged. It doesn't look natural. Whereas using that angle of wall, it creates a lot more sense of a moment in time, you know, not like a staged thing. It's just, yeah, really beautiful angles. So well done on that. The lighting on the lantern across the wall and the ground's really excellent as well. Love the texture on the wall. That's great. The green book on the ground is maybe a little bit distracting. Like when I'm looking at the model, you've got all these really nice warm colours and, you know, nice soft glow, and then you've got this sharp green. My eyes just sort of drawn to it a little bit. But it is providing some nice pop against the other warm colours, which is great. It's hard to see in that photo. Let me actually go and have a look on the thing, see if I can zoom in. I don't know how to zoom in that. She's a tricky model. I've actually painted her myself, and she's a tricky model because of the shape of her. Like when you have a model that's sort of standing, it's very easy, you know, if they're standing there, their face is there, and they're just like, you know, your eyes are drawn to their face. Anytime you have a model looking down, it can be hard to just get that sense of connection with the model. And that piece is one where you almost feel like you're intruding on looking at it, because she's sort of so closed off and looking down, which is part of what makes it so beautiful, right, the model. But it can be hard to have like a clear focal point, to have a clear thing to look at, which is probably again why my eye is drawn to the green, because it's something that's not quite as cluttered. Yeah, I mean, compositionally, that's probably the one area I'd look at improvements is try and have her the space behind her be very sort of simple in the background, and maybe the bookcase could have been moved over a little bit to the left or to the right, and just have a little bit of blank wall behind it, just to create a bit more sense of she's the focal point. Whereas at the moment, there's just a lot of, excuse the pun, distractions. But yeah, it's really great. I can't make out much of the painting. Oh yeah, cool. I'm gonna have a look at that. Oh yeah, that's a better photo. Yeah, nice. I mean, I think probably, and you'll have to excuse me if this is your first time on the stream, I tend to be pretty brutal when it comes to feedback. I think probably that the painting of the whole piece, like the value on her, and the fact is she doesn't look like the central point of the piece. It looks like she's just a part of the background in a way. So I think you could have done more to elevate her to be the clear focal point, higher value skin tones, maybe some more saturated areas, maybe tone down the yellow light in the other areas, just to try and pull a little bit more focus to her. But overall, man, I mean, it's a great interpretation of that model. So I'd be pretty chuffed with that if I did that. I don't think mine's anywhere near as good as that, by the way. Might see if I can find mine. It sucks. Did it a little while back. Fuck me. When did I do it? Shit, that was like 2 years ago, I reckon. 3 years ago. I'm scrolling back through my Instagram. I can't think of a better way to do this. What a dickhead. Maybe I'll show one of my cool works from Instagram in a minute. Where the fuck are you, distracted? Shit, a brick. I didn't realise it was quite that long ago. Oh, I'm at pictures of Monty. Fuck yeah. What a time. I'm at pictures of me painting my Monty stuff. Fuck yeah. That's legit. Okay, I think she's close now. 3 on this time. Now I'm painting fucking Nurgle dudes. What the shit? I'm gonna paint a Nurgle Blood Bowl team soon. On the stream. I'm gonna do some quick stuff. That's a bit of fun. Chum Dabs will learn how to paint red. Alright, I found her. Here she is. Hey, Vudo Graphics, how are you, mate? Yeah, so there's mine. That's actually a work in progress photo. It's the only one I could find. That was, how long ago? 131 weeks. So that was 2.5 years ago. I'm living the dream over here in beautiful Brisbane, Voodoo. Thanks for asking, my friend. Yeah, so can paint a red. Can paint a fucking eye-punching red. But yeah, not my best work. I think it improved a little bit after I finished it. But yeah, it's a very hard piece because of that shape and stuff. What makes it so interesting as a sculpt is kind of what makes it hard to paint as a model. Or I'll show you something I'm actually proud of, since we're in show and tell mode. Yes, the boys. Here we go. Boom! Oh, the boys! The boys. Yes. These are Lucas Pina's 3 pirates. Voodoo, that was a KDM mini, mate. Well done. Yes, the boys, the pirate boys. El Trio Calavero. Which I think means the pirate trio. Maybe. Oh, Topulus, don't rub it in, mate. Don't fucking rub that shit in. Seriously. You're killing me. I didn't get fucking pirates. I didn't get fucked. I bought these in the secondary market too. Hello, Garden Cruller Gold. How are you, mate? Yeah, I fucking had to buy these in the secondary market too because I didn't pull the trigger on these guys. What an absolute idiot I am. Anyway. There you go. There's something I did recently that I'm pretty happy with. Let's keep painting some dragons, friends. Yeah, they were unladened African swallows. Thank you, mate. Yep. Can't tell you the speed velocity of them, though. I'm sorry. Sorry, mate. Mate, you know what? There's a few people that I know, and I reckon that they do this because of me. They buy 2 copies of it because they know that I'm going to turn around 2 months after they get it and go, oh, did you buy 2 copies of that, man? Because I really like to fucking get a copy and I didn't buy one. So, yeah, I'm just a bit lucky in that regard, but I made a decision that I'm just going to, irrespective, I'm just going to buy every fucking one now because every time I don't, I've regretted it. Fucking 7 dwarves, what a dickhead I am. Anyway. It is what it is. Ah, yes. You, you are unlucky if you just got into it 2 years ago. You missed a lot of his great stuff. Should I pull him out? Should I pull out the girls again? I pulled him out on Wednesday night stream. Wow. No, I'll give it a miss tonight, I think. Don't want to brag too much. I got Mama Booho. Painted her. Now maybe I'll pull up my Mama Booho I did in a second. I was reasonably happy with her. I should just have them on standby, hey? How good is it? Damn, so good. Actually, I was going to start the stream a bit early tonight. I was keen to get on and get painting. It's a Friday night, got nothing else to do. But I was playing a game of Spirit Island. On my phone, it's fucking great. Yeah, I've got some pretty legit models. Bug King, some pretty rare ones that people are mad keen to get. Mad keen. Where is a little bit of Salmon Rose? Where are you? There you are. Yes, so Q, I'm going to be doing a couple of models after this. I'm going to do a Blood Bowl team, actually. I'm going to do a Blood Bowl team on stream next. So, I'm showing off a lot of display painting stuff, but I can also paint pretty quick when it comes to army level. So I'm going to do some army stuff. It's always nice to mix up the display painting with some other levels of painting. So that'll be what's next on stream. But in terms of the next display project, haven't decided yet. The one project I really want to get started on is my Camelot piece. I've got a fucking wild plan for my Camelot. I'm doing a diorama that's going to include all of them. I've already got, it's actually up, you can't see it, it's just up there, but I've got a a round rotating table that's 400 millimeters in diameter, and so yeah, me neither, mate. And so there's going to be 5 different scenes that will include each of the different models, and it's going to spin around. It's electric, it spins around, plugs in. It's going to be fucking awesome. I hope. But like, I have been planning that since I don't often plan things right, but when that Kickstarter came out, I'm actually backer number 1. I stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning just so I could fucking back that shit, and I was backer number 1, get amongst it. But yeah, the plan, like I was building the plan through the Kickstarter. I was just like, I know exactly what I want to do. How can I tie these models together in a cool story? Like, what's a way to make these tie together? It's going to be so fucking great. I can't wait. Little way off. Got to wait for the models to rock up. I wonder. Echoes of Camelot, mate. The recent Kickstarter by Big Child Creatives. I wonder, because I'm in Australia, I think we've had a lot of shipping problems recently, and I think they only just started shipping back to Spain, or shipping out of Spain to Australia recently. So I wonder if they maybe have just been like, might just hold off on doing that, on doing ones to Australia and America. They've all the ones I've seen of people who've got them already are in Europe. So one of my eternal frustrations, which I know is just the biggest first world problem, and I know life doesn't. Oh, did he? Fuck you, Vincenzo, you fucker. They don't ship in thingy order, and I understand, right? I understand why they don't. But of course, first, I was on there first. Give me my fucking models. Not a patient man. Not a patient man. Yeah, it's what's interesting though is a lot of board games arrive in Australia first because all the board games are manufactured in China, and so we tend to be first off the boat for board games. So we usually get our board games before everyone else gets theirs, and people blow up about that, and I just sit back smugly chuckling to myself. So maybe I should calm down. No, I didn't back Darwin's Journey. Didn't interest me all that much. Probably will down the track, but one of my mates will probably buy it, or one of the guys in the group will buy it. So we've got enough games. I've got so many games coming at the moment. I think I've got 6 Kickstarter games that I'm waiting on this year. Fucking crazy. It's been a crazy 12, 18 months for Kickstarters, I tell you what. What was I gonna bring? Oh, my Mama Booho, that's right. I'll go and load her up in a second. Mama Booho. Alright, let's... I promise we won't do too many more shitty Instagram pictures of my work. Sure, we've all got much better things to do with our time. I think Mama Booho was probably one of the first busts that I did. It was in an era where I was really probably learning how I wanted to paint, and I think she was one of the better ones I did in that era. There she is. Mama Boo. Dr. Flink, I tell you, there's a couple of really good learn to play videos for Scythe online, so give that a crack. It's actually really easy game. Like, it's a really simple game because you only really have to look at your little board and you've got 4 choices for actions. That's it. So really the game boils down to which one of those 4 actions do you take each turn. And it makes it even easier because you can't take the same one as you did the turn before. So all you do is you boil the game down to which one of those 4 actions am I going to take, and that's it. There's obviously a lot more depth to the game, but if you just go, sweet, this is what I'm going to figure out, cool, how do I do this one action? The first action is like a move action. It tells you how to move. It's pretty straightforward. But yeah, watch them how to play videos, it's great. It's one of my favourite games. That was my Mama Booho. It's pretty good. But the artwork in that is incredible. That was actually what drew me to the game, the artwork. Now I reckon it's time to paint some of the eyes because we're losing a little bit of feeling at the moment because we don't have any eyes painted, so let's paint some eyes. Don't make me pull out the witches, Dr. Flink. Don't make me do it, mate. I will. You know I will. Yeah, Patrick, Kickstarter's, it can be very hit and miss. I've had some great games come from Kickstarter, I've had some shockers. These days I'm looking for only the Kickstarter exclusive games. Most of those tend to retain their value, so even if they're not as good, I can usually move them along. Or models. Like I buy into model Kickstarters a lot because I feel like that's just a way to support they're obviously doing it for a reason, Kickstarter, so just a way to support them. That is a fascinating piece of information about owls there, mate, that I did not know. Wonder if they noted that in Wingspan. Wonder if they said one of those is the facts from Wingspan. That's too much. Alright, let me give you a good fact about eyeballs. So, one of the easiest mistakes to make with eyeballs is to paint them too high a value. Because if you look at human eyeballs, everyone thinks they're white. They're not. They're grey. And if you paint white in there instead of grey, then you tend to get eyeballs that look like this. So the grey is the colour that you use for the eyeballs in general. Yeah, Monumental did look pretty cool actually. I think Gav might have got that. Might have got all the models for that. We recently had first wave maybe of Marvel United. Those models turn up. They were cool. And like, I love Marvel, love all the Marvel movies and shit. As soon as I finish the stream tonight, I'm going to watch the next episode of WandaVision. But I decided not to buy in on that because the fucking Big Child Creatives paint jobs on those models are just I don't think you could do a better job than what they did on those models. And I think I'd just be disappointed that my models didn't look like those. Because it's not like you can go, I'm going to paint Captain America in different colours, because you can't. You know, normally it doesn't really matter too much because you can paint things in different colours and you're like, yeah, that's fine. But yeah, the Chibi Marvel one's Dr. Flink. But it's not like you can with the Marvel characters. Too good, those guys are. Alright, so we're doing brown. We're doing brown eyes, beautiful brown eyes for this dragon. Falcor has very brown eyes. And the way we're going to do brown, I'm going to highlight them with this colour. Yeah, just Big Child. Love those guys. I actually saw the Camelot stuff in 2019 at Scale Model Challenge. They had Morgana and one of the other sculpts there at Scale Model Challenge on display, and I just said to him at the time, I was like, seriously, I'm just fucking all in. I'm so all in for every one of these fucking models. Just give them to me now. Get that shit straight into my veins this moment. And yeah, and then I think I had to, what was it, August last year maybe? Had to wait till fucking August. It was a disaster. I hated it. Yeah, Ruben's the man. Yeah. Okay, so we need to think about the direction of the eyes. Tricky one, really. We'll try, mate. No promises. Fucking eyes, eh? Yummy Gamer Furry 777, welcome. G'day, Psy12345. This model is called Windrider. Was sold by Robot Rocket, but I don't know if you can purchase it anymore. It may have been a limited edition. I believe my friends on stream told me last time I was painting it. But Robot Rocket Miniatures was the manufacturer, and the name of the model is Windrider. There's actually a dude that rides on top of this dragon as well. And he looks like this. Hiya! Ah, mean tweets. Nice. I saw Phoenix Miniature Art painting that on stream the other night. Very cool model indeed. So these are really big eyes, which is great. You're talking about my version, Flickster, or are you talking about the rider in general? Because I'm pretty sure you're talking about the rider in general, and I agree. It is so cool. Good man. That eye wrist in the middle needs to be bigger. Oh, g'day, Pinchador. Thanks, mate. Oh, g'day Paul, good evening to you, sir. Well, mate, I decided that I would just turn on my initial plan was always just to turn my stream on whenever I felt like painting. Once I had everything set up in the optimal way, and I believe I do have that now. So yeah, it's pretty easy for me to just sit down and paint like I would normally paint. And if people want to come and watch, they're welcome to do so. Yeah. I'll be coming on tomorrow morning as well, because it's the weekend. And Pinchador, Night Chum Dabs, in terms of your question, mate, so I'm using a Sony Handycam AX33. It is connected to my computer, and then I also have two little web cameras for my two face cam and palette cam. Although, fuck me, palette cam is zoomed out for some reason. Palette cam, you're drunk. Get back in there, you crazy guy. There you go. You're very welcome, Pinchador. Love a bit of contrast paint. Who else is just absolutely loving contrast paint at the moment? Oh, that's right, no other legitimate painter, because they all think I'm an idiot. You do think I'm an idiot? Well, thanks, Tui. Thanks for that, mate. I thought we were friends. I thought we were going to hang out next Monty, be like Bonnie and Clyde, two villains. Indeed, Paul. That is what I use it for as well. And a few other things. No, they are really good. I mean, you just got to know what they are, right? They're not trying to be the paint end all paints for all gamers, painters, and everything. They're just meant to be nice, firm glaze. Oh, good, we've got a bit of black there. Good one, Deno. One of your best. Falcor had brown eyes, by the way, friends. That's why I'm doing brown eyes. Yes, you are right, Voodoo. That was the goal. I really needed to feel a little bit about what this dude's doing. I won't in this no celery, no gloss varnish on these eyes, because they It will have painted reflections, so you won't need gloss. Shouldn't need gloss. Shouldn't. May still need gloss. English is very good, Patrick. Your English is significantly better than my any other language in the world. Which mistake are you referring to, mate? You're going to post the picture in the chat? I have not. Celery? No. I have not painted that model. Wouldn't mind painting it, but... I played a game of that with my girlfriend, right? I bought all the models and went real deep on it. Had a great time for a few months, and still got all the models there. And my girlfriend, she likes playing games, but she just tends to have pretty strong reactions whether she likes something or not. And the only thing she really liked about the prologue fight was when she chopped the lion's Jat's crackers off. She thought that was the best thing ever. But yeah, I showed her some pictures of the rulebook and she was not generally very impressed with the said rulebook. Probably leave the Kingdom Death games maybe till they're a little bit older, mate. Very Australian dragon. Green and gold. Australia! Yes, but I'm gonna take it back down. Because the dragon also needs to have some areas of saturation. The yellow is going to be pretty powerful. It's going to draw your eye. I'll zoom out so you can see, hopefully. Yeah. So I'm gonna move the nose a little bit more to red, which will tie in with the red circles a little bit, and then the green is again to try and tie in with the greens in this, but the greens will be a lot more desaturated on the fur. It's going to go up to like a golden yellowy cream colour, and then the nose, I'm going to try and take that into reds, but I'm going to kill that a lot when I do some glazes over the top. That's the plan. Good decision, Paul. We'll see anyway, mate. Might end up vastly different to what I just said. Don't know yet. That's just what we're feeling like right now, what we're going to try and do. The mind is willing, but the body is spongy, bruised. $5 for anyone that can tell me the quote. Tell me where that quote's from. No, you probably won't get $5. Yes, Tui gets it in one. Death by Snoo Snoo. Done. I do liken myself to a young Zap Brannigan. I feel like he is the person that most represents me in any film and literature ever. Or television. Throw waves and waves of men at them. You talking about me being like Zap Brannigan, Boar Jowsey, or are you talking about this dragon? I don't think I love the eyes, by the way, friends. I might need to make them darker. That might help. Zap Brannigan. Yeah, the eyes are Shithouse. Yeah, I mean, I haven't finished the eyes, so maybe they'd look better if I finished them, but it's more about the colours, I think. I don't think I like the colours I chose. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Hey, so this is a weird observation, right? But I find a really shit brush, one that's got like sort of splaying bristles, tends to do slightly better hair light colours, like hair lights, because it just sort of hits that unnatural, uneven spot. Just creates just a tiny little bit of visual interest. have everything for young men to enjoy. You can hang out with all the boys. It's fun to stay at the DMCA. I don't actually know what DMCA is. I'm not very good at Twitch. Is it a Twitch thing? Am I doing something wrong? I'm not supposed to sing on stream. Ah, cool. So I'm not allowed to sing. Good to know. That is correct. Yes, I'm adding some cream to the greens. Paul, if you want to look at Irresistible Force, it's a shop in Brisbane, my regular, they do stock quite a variety of brushes. They have some of the Broken Toad brushes that have just come in today, actually. I buy my Winsor & Newtons from them, although they've been struggling to get Winsor & Newtons recently. Sorry friends, I've just got a little bit focused here, that's why I've stopped talking. Also I don't have anything interesting to say. Also got in trouble for singing. Oh, I've lost my own camera angle. Stand by. That's where the dude riding it goes. Oh, you're talking, no, you're talking about the black spot. Yeah, that's from my fat fingers, bro. Yes, no, that is a spot of black paint that I put on there quite by accident. Let's correct that for you now, friend. Indeed they are, Paul. They're very reasonably priced. Very nice people too. Although I wish they'd be less nice to Chum Dabs and stop him from buying all my models and paints that I want to buy. Alright, we're going to try some crazy shit now, friends. We're going to try some crazy, crazy shit. Let's see if I can do it. See if Big Dinner can do it. Crazy shit. Crazy shit. Let's find the right colour. Don't have exactly the right colour. Null and oil coming. You got it, mate. It's all null coming up. No, it's not null and oil. Doesn't feel like exactly the colour I want. Yuck, that doesn't sound great. So there's two things we've done here, friends. The first is we've slightly refined and harmonized my really bad transitions, which is good. And the second thing we've done, brought a little bit of yellow into it, which is tying it into the dude on top. So that's good, I think, so far. I'm gonna keep working with it though. Tweak it a little bit. We don't make mistakes. Lupo89, welcome to the channel. Welcome, friend. That's why I don't want to make miniature painting a job, friends. That's why it's fun. Got to find the joy in what you do. For anything in life. Might hit you up for some tips, Dr. Flink. Down the track, big deno, bit of 3D sculpting coming up. Game snack bites. Don't mind a cheeky snack when I'm having a game. Yes, Paul, I do indeed. I thin it using my thinner. Same thinner mix I've talked about in the other ones. There is my favourite colour. Not peanut butter, my other favourite colour. I've got about 17 favourite colours, guys, friends. So, where are you hidden away? Maybe it's fallen down the back somewhere. Did you fall down the back, little colour? No? Where are you? What's happening on the socials? My phone keeps going off. Oh, my Amazon order has been shipped. Excellent. That's good news. What else is happening in the world of socials? Ah, my Origin electricity bill. Great. Can't fucking wait for that to get paid. I can't see my favourite colour, friends. Streaming ruin. Something for me to look forward to then, eh? Fortunately, I'm starting from a low fucking bar, so... Oh, come on, Arbuckle's Brown, I miss you. You're red. Arbuckle's Brown, where are you? You're not it. Oh, this is upsetting. This is an upsetting time, friends. I can't find my favourite colour for doing this particular thing I'm about to do. This is devastation. The whole point of having a paint rack is to make it... Ah, there it is. Gotcha, you little fucker. Gotcha. True dat. True dat. I'm actually just looking at buying a new model for show and tell. Cool, I'm excited. I hope he says yes. Just made an offer. I'll show you what one it is. You talk about me, dickhead? Flickster? Come on now. Don't be that guy. This is the one I want to buy for my next show and tell. By Will Paints. Will Paints. Love that model. Blew me away first time I saw it. Great freehand up here. That's freehand on the axe. He did that in freehand. Impressive stuff. Tattoos are impressive. Non-metallic metal, super impressive. Love the fur. Love the values, the big difference in values on the piece. I think that's awesome. So, yeah, I want it. I want it, and I'm going to buy it. Easy, Thorbjorn. Huh. Very cool. I'll have to check that out. Alright, not much time left in tonight's stream, friends, so if you've got anything you wanted to share about how great you think Big Deno is, now's the time. Now's the time. Thanks, Tui. So one of the things, the downsides of the airbrush is, I've talked about this on my last couple of streams, and I'll probably talk about it every time I use the airbrush. You can lose a bit of contrast. So it's great for smoothing out transitions, but when you lose that contrast, you're losing what makes the piece interesting to look at. So what I'm doing here is just going back in and adding some shadows, which theoretically should get us pretty close to what the model's going to look like finished. I'll do some highlights over the top of this as well. But this stage is crucial for creating visual interest. So this side, if you have a look at this area that I just did the shadows in versus this side, so you can see the difference in the two areas. and then just do a little highlight over the top of that, and that'll be that. I'm glad you enjoy it, Tui, I do, because I'm not really... My girlfriend came onto the stream the first night I streamed and she said, "This is the most boring shit I've ever watched in my life." And she likes me. So I don't know what the majority of people who think I'm a dickhead are going to enjoy watching the stream for. Like's probably a strong word, actually. She tolerates me. Good one, Celery. You'll fit right in. I'm not sure, Voodoo. How do you? Paint a model for her. Good one. Thank you, Poe73, Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah, the red nose is something I'm working on at the moment. I'm not really sure. I wanted some colour to tie in with this guy. Hello, who's riding him. So we're sort of getting a little bit of harmony there between the two, which is cool. Indeed. Yes, that's a good observation, Flick. That's why I went with the yellow on the fur. This is meant to look not the same colour. It's meant to be different sort of tones. The green on the right is a very vibrant lime sort of green. This is a little bit more olive. But yeah, that was the intent. As Tui was saying before, we don't want it to be too saturated, this dragon, because the rider's already got a lot of that shit going on. So we need to just be a little bit mindful that the dragon doesn't draw too much focus away from the rider, but at the same time he needs to be thematically tied together and visually interesting in his own right. So we've got to think about that in different ways. Sorry for my bad camera work, friends. excitingly, I'll be back streaming tomorrow morning, which for most of you will be tomorrow night, or tonight, in fact. In approximately 11 hours from now, I'll be back streaming. Because it's my Saturday and I'm here to paint. Not here to fuck spiders. "9 a.m. Yes, mate. 9 a.m. That is the time. Beautiful Saturday morning. Sit down at the desk. Have a paint. Probably crack on through until about lunchtime. Then I'll go and have some lunch, and then I'll see what I'm doing after that. Maybe come back. Who knows? Don't know. It's just, the world is my oyster. Alright, friends. Oh, good. Yeah, let me know how it goes. I'm genuinely interested. I'd like to, as I said, I'd like to get into a bit of 3D sculpting down the track. So, alright, friends. Thank you for participating tonight. We are about to raid some motherfucker. Raiding could be my favourite thing about streaming. Being able to go say hello to...
Pairing mode.
Oh, my
Waiting
speakers.
for device to connect.
Calm down. Calm down. You've connected. Stupid speakers. Don't switch to that mode. No, don't turn off. Oh dear. There we go.
Pairing mode.
Yes, indeed. Stay safe, friends. Look after each other and yourselves. Let's find some raid people. Let's find some raiders. Who's... Oh, Badger's on and Phoenix is on. I don't think I've raided Badger, so let's go raid the Badge. Badger, 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 Badger. Enjoy, friends. Have a great evening.
How was your stream? I was lurking. I was lurking. Unfortunately, I didn't really get to see. You were working on Falcor.